good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. This is the Lisa Baxter Show. And you know, it's been a minute since I've been able to talk to you, able to, do so many things with you. Really, where I am interviewing somebody today, we're going to be a great guest. So you'll be seeing me doing that a little bit here and there. But this is the first one in a long time. Oh, maybe 2 years and better. So you're going to enjoy this show tonight, but you know how I do it. So I'm going to do a little thing for you, a little skit first. All right. Usually I just jump into it. I'm so excited, so happy. I don't know what to do first, but I'm just very happy to have you and see you and deal with you guys on today. I wonder when this doctor is coming to see me. I went to the doctor, I went to the dentist and everything, and I told him the medication is causing me to lose my teeth. And they keep saying, we're going to help you. I go to this one, I go to that one, get a referral for this one, get a referral for that one. What am I to do? I spoke to everybody. I spoke to lawyers, I spoke to doctors, I spoke to everybody, and I just don't know what to do. So I got to think about it. I'm trying to put it in perspective. People, I never walk out without my teeth or my partials, and now they want to take out all of my teeth. But I know I heard about this woman. What is her name? Lala, Lily, Lola, Licky, something. No, it's Lisa Baxter. That's her name, Lisa Baxter. I heard so much about her because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hey, again and again, your girl is back, your sister, giving you the 411, not just in kidneys, but in so much more, in everything. And tonight, I got a fantabulous guest for you. I'm going to tell you a little something about her, then she's going to tell you something about herself. Let me get this going. Let me polish up my notes. You know how I do. This beautiful woman that God has created. Oh my God, what a woman. Her name is Vaughn Squires. Hope I'm saying her name right. She'll tell me. She's a life coach, a publisher. She's an author, born and raised into a military family. How about that? I know what that's like. She lived in several states in the US and in Europe. And she has this thing called the Healing Train. I was a guest on that podcast show. Yes, I was. Let me tell you a thing or two. Well, anyway, she's my guest on tonight, and she's going to tell you some things. I'm going to ask her some questions, and we're going to ride on in, fly on in, get our wings, and get it together tonight, right? So, introducing right now the beautiful, the great, the wonderful healing coach. All right, anointed woman, Miss Vaughn. Welcome to the show, Miss.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm on the Lisa Baxter Show. Oh my goodness, I am on the Lisa Baxter Show. I am so excited to be here, Lisa. Thank you so much for inviting me into your world, your beautiful world. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
I'm honored. I'm just honored to have you. I'm glad to been able to meet you. I love what you did with a couple of my friends and a couple of people I've known for years, like my niece who introduced me to you, Dr. Webster. And I've had her twice on my show. You did an excellent job with her on yours,
Thank you.
and you had Dr. Amber Lyons, who I've been in church with for years and years, knew her mother, her whole family. So I thank you for what you're doing and the other things that you're going to do.
Thank you. It's an honor, definitely, definitely. Ramathea Webster, Dr. Ramathea was um, a great, a great passenger on the healing train. You were a phenomenal passenger on the healing train. We're actually going to showcase you for the month of March. So we want all
Mm.
your people to know to watch the healing train so they can see you in action on the healing train. And
Woo,
so,
woo. Yeah. Oh, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. We gonna cruise our way right in this, honey. Okay, you know what I wanted to ask you? What are some of the jobs you've had in the past? A job you may have had in the past and a job you have now, if you don't mind saying.
okay, so I actually do have a career.
Hmm.
I graduated with a master's degree in business administration. I currently work for the Veteran Affairs in Los Angeles, California. I'm a remote employee. I manage the congressional resources for that VA hospital, the Greater Los Angeles VA Hospital. That's what I do currently. However, my passion, as you know, is trauma healing. That's my
Hmm.
passion. That's what I love to do is coach people and let people know that they do have a life after trauma and that they do not have to allow trauma to steal their life force from them. And that's my passion. In the past, I've had customer service jobs, which I really enjoyed it because I like people, Lisa. I'm just a people
Me
person.
too. Yeah.
I love to help people in any capacity. And so I really enjoyed customer service. I did that for years. Cellular One. You remember it was back in the day. I'm dating
Oh
myself
yeah.
right
That's all right. I'm riding with you.
now.
You your thing.
Yes. And so, I had little odds and end jobs, but I thought to myself, I don't want to keep having jobs. I want an actual career. And so, what do I have to do to get a career? I needed to go to school and get some education. And so that's what I did. Went to school and got some education, got a degree or two, and started building a career by the grace of God. I was able to pull my life out of the gutter because I had squandered so much of my life, in
Mm,
patterns. But
wow.
by the grace of God, he brought me out of that life. He brought me out of that destruction, cleaned me up, gave me a new purpose. And my purpose now is just to live my most authentic self, my most authentic life, helping people understand how they can do that too. So,
Wow. Well, we're gonna jump into some of those steps because I've known you a short time, but I felt like I've known you forever.
I
That's
know.
how understanding and soothing your voice is. And you could see that that's the type of ministry that's on you, so you're doing your thing. You're doing your
Thank
thing, and they're gonna hear so much more about it. What has led you up to what you're doing now? So you're a career woman, you're an educated woman, right? But what has led you up to what you're doing now? What has pushed you forward to bring you up to what you're doing right now?
in terms of my career or in terms of my passion, because those are two different things.
Well,
Um,
child, answer both. I ain't mad at you. You come on here.
well, um, let's see. I had a moment of clarity. God came and spoke to me when I was
Mhm.
39 years old. And he said, if you don't do something now, when you get 60, you're not going to have a house. You will not have a life that's worth living if you
Mm,
don't get busy now. And
yes.
I took that, I heard it, I took that to heart. And immediately I said, okay, well, I want to get clean. I don't want to use drugs anymore because my life was filled with drugs and alcohol and very destructive patterns. And when he
Mm,
came to me and spoke to me, I thought, okay, well, now is the time. So I started going to school and I just took one class because I wasn't even sure, Lisa, that my mind could even think, that I could even retain any information because I had damaged my mind so much through the drugs, through the alcohol, through the different thought processes, limiting beliefs. I was going nowhere very fast. And
Mm,
so God said, wake up, wake up. I got
mm.
something for you. Wake up. And that's when I started moving into a new way of thinking, a new way of living, and started creating a career. Of course, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I needed to do something. And as
Mm.
first of all, I was going to be a Spanish interpreter. So I learned, oh, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien.
Bien. I
I
only
learned
know 50 words, so I ain't mad at you.
exactly,
Transplant.
exactly. And then I moved on, I decided, no, I think there's enough of them coming over to our country and they can speak their language a lot better than I can. I'm going to let them have that. I'll move on to something else.
That's
So,
all right.
and so I thought, you know what, a friend of mine told me, Benita, they are getting ready to revamp the medical system with all electronics. Now is the time to get in. So I jumped into the healthcare field because even
Mm.
though our economy was so volatile, with the real estate industry, crashing, banks crashing, but the healthcare system, it
Wow.
stayed stable throughout it all. So I knew I couldn't go wrong jumping into the healthcare system. And so that's what I did. I jumped into the healthcare system and then I started volunteering at the VA. And then through the volunteering at the VA, a job came available and they said, hey, you're already here. You already know our system. We already like you. Why don't you go ahead and apply for the position? Thank you,
Mm.
God. Thank you, God.
Viva
Yeah, now.
victory, yes.
Exactly, exactly. And so I've been with the VA going on 10 years now. And I was chosen for a leadership development program. Out of 100 people, they chose me. That is God's favor. I know that's God's favor on my life. And so as I continued to go through my career at the VA, I thought to myself, what am I going to do when I leave the VA?
Mhm.
I want to do something. There's a calling on me. There's something in my spirit that says, show people what you've been through so they know they can get through it too.
Yes.
Ooh, and that's when God gave me the healing train, which
What?
shows, yes, where we show people what's possible. Because see, in a lot of times what we when we look around, we don't see the vision of hope that we would like to see. And
Mhm.
so on the healing train, we bring people like yourself. You are a vision of hope. And so that's why we bring people on
Hallelujah.
the train to show people what's possible for their lives. And so that's
Wow.
where I've been. That's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm doing now. And
Well, to
loving
God be the total glory. Wow.
absolutely, absolutely, yes.
Well,
Uh-huh.
while you have been working in the medical field, have you ran into anyone dealing with dialysis or kidney disease or those kind of things? Because that could be traumatic too. Trust me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have a girlfriend who had kidney cancer.
Mm,
And as a matter of fact, my father had kidney cancer. So he
wow.
had to have his kidney removed. And then my girlfriend had to have hers removed as well. And then
Wow.
there was another person that I kind of went to school around who had the ports in his arm. And the how they kind of disfigure your arm a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Through having to
Wow.
go put the ports in and stuff. And I didn't know what that was. And he
Oh,
explained
the
it to me.
fistula.
The
They have
fistula.
fistula
Yeah.
and graft. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
have a fistula. Mine's pointy right here. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And so when I was able to see that, that was my first introduction to dialysis. And
Oh.
so that's how I learned about dialysis. And then everything else I learned from
Oh, aren't you sweet? Well, I'm glad you had a chance to learn something about that because sometimes when you're dealing with a lot of different type of people, you want to know a little something when you're dealing with them. As a social worker, I deal with different types of people. Everybody have different issues, family stuff or mental stuff or all type of things, physical ailments, needs, need resources. So I try to be resourceful to them and for them. Well, if I had the medical challenges of polycystic kidney disease, do you have any medical challenges or anything of that you're dealing with?
Okay, so my medical, okay, so I have psychological challenges like
Okay.
claustrophobia.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know what that's like.
whenever I have to go get an MRI, I have to be sedated.
Tell me.
Yeah, I have to be sedated to go through those. And so that's kind of a medical psychological challenge.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I had a car accident back in July. And as
Uh,
a result, I
mm,
now have to have a lumbar fusion where
mm,
they fuse the vertebrae in my lower back.
mm.
They're going to put a little piece of a spacer in there on the front end, and then in the back they're going to put some screws to screw that spacer in so that
What?
my bones can fuse together. Yes, it's they say it's a common procedure, but it doesn't feel common to me, but I
Yeah, I
know.
know what you mean. It's easy for them to say they doing the operating and the cutting and the digging. They say, oh, they should tell me that too. This won't hurt a bit. And I'm like, what you mean it won't hurt? The thing is this long, and you
Yeah.
shoving it and telling me it doesn't hurt. You're not
Oh.
on the other end. I said, let me stick you, and then I'll let you stick me. You know what I mean? They should like laugh at me all the time, or get a certain way, but sometimes they have to see the other end. And I know maybe it's their job, or maybe they was trained to say that. I don't know. And maybe sometimes once in a while it's true what they're saying. You know
Uh,
what I mean? They mean well. they got they got to get it done. They got to get it done. You know.
absolutely.
So the healing train. I'm gonna jump around into the healing train only because I loved it so much. Every time I watch one of the shows, or we talk or anything like that, I feel so good because you just let the person have free reign, and you just go into your thing and you have your steps and bam, you hit it. So how did you what how long have you been doing the healing train? And then you could tell me about some of your guests, or how do you get your guests, or something about the healing chain that you want to reveal to us.
Oh, sure, sure. So the healing train came about last year in July.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so God had given me the name the healing train. And I
Mm.
thought, ooh, that sounds kind of classy. I like that. What's that all about? Well, he didn't give me any more information right away. So I just kind
That's
of
like
sat
God.
on that, isn't it? He only
Yeah.
gives you what you need in the moment. He'll give it to you when you need it. And so he
Absolutely.
gave me the name, and I thought to myself, well, I wonder what he's got going on with this. And so then he told me, write the book. And I said, okay, what book? What book? And he said, The Energy Harvest. This is the book.
Oh, I got one
You
too.
got one too?
Yeah,
There you go. Yes.
really
Yes.
excellent. Yeah, she's the author of this wonderful book, The Energy Harvest. Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
The
after you
energy.
tell us about the train, then you'll tell us about the book, or incorporate it some sort of way.
Absolutely, because they go together. I
That's
didn't
right.
know that he was giving me one piece and then he gave me the other piece, and how he was going to tie them together. I didn't know that they had anything to do with each other at the time. So when he gave me the book, I went ahead and I wrote it. Okay, so it's a trauma healing book, has 4 phases. So then he said, use the book on the healing train. I said, what? Oh my goodness. You're brilliant. Yeah, you're God.
Right? Yeah. I know we treat him like a buddy and a father, but he's really the Almighty. You know what
Oh
I mean?
my
The
goodness.
all
Yes.
sufficient one. Yes.
Absolutely. All powerful,
I know.
omniscient, every.
Yes.
And so I had 2 passengers on the healing train before he revealed to me to use this as the down drop for the healing train.
Mm.
And there's 4 phases. And so we'll take and I call them passengers because it's a train, right? And your
Uh-huh.
ticket's already paid for with your trauma. So you
Uh-huh.
don't need anything except to hop on board and tell us your extraordinary story. So,
Yeah.
yes. And so after he revealed to me that this is what the healing train would be about, talking about the 4 phases of the book, I thought, wow, that is just so brilliant. And everyone has come on, and it's a different type of trauma. I don't think Okay, so I do this every week. right? Every Sunday we have a new passenger, and I've been doing this since July. And I'm telling you that no one has had the same
Same trauma.
trauma. No one has had the same trauma. I
Mm,
feel that's so interesting that there could be so many different types of trauma, and each
you'd
of
be
us have
surprised.
exactly. One person had financial trauma. The other one
Mm,
had physical trauma. The other one was domestic violence. Another one was divorce. They're different traumas.
yeah,
Growing up poor. In a single mother household. They're just all the different types of trauma, and that's what I'm so grateful for, is that this process that God gave me, it doesn't matter what type of trauma that you have had. You just need
wow,
to identify it. See, you have to identify it first.
yeah,
And this is actually the healing process that I used to heal, that God used to heal me. And I just wrote it all down. And
wow,
yeah, exactly. I had to identify my trauma. And sometimes it's so normalized in our lives that we don't see it as trauma. You see what I
that's
mean?
true. That's true.
And
You don't.
because it's so normalized. And
Hmm.
so, I had a father that did not like me, and I'm just a baby. I'm not big enough to do anything to anybody.
Right.
So, he didn't like me from the beginning. And this is how he treated me, as if he didn't like me. So I sustained a lot of trauma as a small child. I mean, I'm in my crib and he put a pillow over my face, and that's why I'm claustrophobic now.
Mm,
But it goes so much deeper with the psychological abuse. You are nothing. You're never going to be anything. You're ugly. Get out of the mirror with your ugly self. He
mm.
gave me such a poor idea of who I am. This is what he instilled into me, that I was less than, and that I would always be that way. And so that's how I lived my life. But Lisa, there was something inside of me that knew there was more, in God put greatness inside of me.
Come on now.
So oh my gosh, it was like an ongoing battle all the time. That greatness would not let me feel
Mm,
that it wasn't there. It kept rising up. You know what
mm.
I mean? He kept
Yeah,
pushing me down, but that greatness kept rising up. And
yeah,
and then one day I just broke free and I left home and I went to the Navy. And so I was in the Navy for a couple of years. And of course, when you have low self-esteem and when you have low self-worth, it
yeah.
comes out in your decision making. It
Oh,
comes
yes.
out in the way you live
Come
your
on now.
life. And
That's
so
right.
my whole life looked like low self-esteem. My whole life looked like low self-worth,
Mm,
from the way I dressed to the way I carried myself to the places I went and the people I associated with. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't feel like I deserved anything better. But God
wow.
said, but God said, you know what I mean? When it's all
Yes.
said and done, He said, "You're my child. I love you. I am going to give you your identity." You know, let go of those lies that you were told. You are
That's right.
wonderfully and fearfully
We
made.
made.
There
That's
is
right.
greatness running through your veins. You are the
Yes.
head and not the tail. God,
You're
whoo,
above and not beneath. Come on here.
absolutely, absolutely. And He gave me a purpose. He said, everything that you went through was divinely orchestrated so that I could use your story for my glory. And that's
Wow.
exactly what it has
Yes.
been like for me. Totally. That's exactly what it's been like. And I'm just so grateful, Lisa, that everything that I went through was not in vain. And I prayed and I said, God, please use my life as an example of what your grace and mercy can do.
Amen.
And
I know
now
that's
my life,
right.
you just would never believe that I ever went through anything like that, because my life doesn't look anything like that today because of
You
God.
don't look like what you've been through. You will hear people say something like that. And
Yes,
people will say that about illness, sickness,
yes.
trauma.
Hmm.
You don't look like what you've been through. A lot of times when they would look even at a dialysis patient, they say, well, you don't look sick. Not
Yes.
knowing that you get darker. Maybe they didn't know you before. You get darker, your eyes change and
Oh
stuff like
my.
that. a lot of changes go on, with you,
Sure.
the way you feel, with the things you taste in your mouth, your body is going through some stuff and some changes. And the person just looking at you and saying, well, you don't look ill or sick. Or you don't look like you have a disability, but that
Yes.
don't have to be true. Just like
Yes.
sometimes it could be a mental thing, sometimes it could be a physical thing. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
But God got a way of turning things around. I mean, you don't always care about or love yourself or think you might be even worthy of love. I know what it is to feel that way. And I thank God I had a loving husband. I
Yes.
had a close knit family. And recently I lost my brother 5 months ago and I lost my sister last month. And
Yes.
she was like a mother to me. I'm still dealing with that trauma while
Yes.
trying to work. But working is a therapy for me. Doing stuff, staying busy is a therapy for me. You know what I mean? But everybody don't do it that way. Of course, I've cried, I've gotten upset, I've eaten my feelings. I've been known to eat them anyway, but
Sure.
I try to stay from that 214 pounds that I was years ago. So, you know what I mean? But
Oh, I do. Yes.
God has a way of teaching you how to love yourself, because when he loves you, you start to learn how to love yourself. You will
Yes.
start to learn how to take care of yourself. I know what you're talking about your book, because when I wrote mine, I said, God, you promised me that I would never be on dialysis. He said, I wanted you to witness a miracle. And who
Ooh.
knew that my books, I wrote 7 books, and my books would go places, and I would be able to do things and talk to other people and learn from them as well as them learning from me. This is the last book. I mean, the latest book that I've written, called Gribbet Gets a Kidney.
I
You
love
know,
ribbit.
and and these are the other 2 I wrote, Through the Eyes of a Dialysis Patient, Melzy Takes Dialysis to Show and Tell. And I just, to God be the glory, because I didn't
Yes.
want to write books. My sister that passed wrote 8 books. I said, oh no, I'm writing books. I don't want to write no book. But then I ended up writing those many books, but who knew what it would call to, just like your book is calling to people. Your show is calling to people and ministering to people and giving the people a platform to tell a testimony, to tell a story, and to show that these are traumas that you can live through and get through. You could be
Yes.
a real hero, a real survivor, a real general, a
Oh, yeah.
lieutenant, over your circumstances. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes.
So that's one of the things that I had loved about you, because you keep that smile, you keep that grin, you keep that glory of God on you, the stuff, so stuff could bounce off. So I'm definitely not mad at you, and I'm definitely glad that you came over here to talk about it and tell it. Now, if you had to say something to somebody out there that had maybe the trauma like yours, that the father didn't care, he treated the other children better than you. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And your parents are deceased now, and and everything. But if they was dealing with that, and so maybe anything else that you're dealing with, what would you say out there to that person or them?
I would say to the person who is who is going through the abuse or the difficult time, that it's not your fault. The one thing I would say is that it's not your fault and you are worthy of love. Even if the people around you can't give it to you, it's not because you're not worthy. It's not because you don't deserve it. See, what I've had to understand along my journey is that people treat us based on who they are, not
Mm.
based on who we are.
Ooh, go ahead with that wisdom.
Yes, and I had to learn that I am the first one to ever stand up to the bully. All my other brothers and sisters caved in and gave into the bully. And I did not, because there was something inside of me, my uniqueness. God allowed me to hold on to that, and I didn't want to trade it in to be someone else,
Mhm.
And so I would say to the person out there, you can get through this. You can live through this. And anything that you're going through is so that you can show others how to get through it. The
Wow.
universe is not picking on you. You have been chosen because there's something inside of you that needs to be shown. There's something inside of you that needs to be developed. And so a lot of times the only way that we can develop it is to go through it, the go
Mm,
through the darkness. Like, when seeds gestate, they gestate in the darkness,
mm.
and then they begin to sprout out. And so
Come on.
during dark times, I want you to know that the seed that God has planted in you is
Mm,
gestating. It is gestating, and that's it. So darkness does not last always. There's going to be sunshine, and you will rise and shine. So I just want people to know, hold on, just hold on and get some support. If you can't find the support in your own family, reach out. You can reach out to me because I'm here to help you if you need help.
mm.
Yes, absolutely. And so yeah, that's what I would tell them, that you deserve the best, and that you are worthy, even if people aren't they don't understand how to love you, and they don't have the ability to love you. It's not because you're not lovable. It's because they just don't know how.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm. That's beautiful. And that you couldn't say it any better than that. Now, if they wanted to reach out to you, what would be your email? It can always be put in the chat and things like that. I can always do that. But while they're watching, looking and stuff, what is it that you could tell them as far as the email or the number or the
Sure.
website or your
Ab-
Facebook page or something?
Absolutely. My website is www.spiritsourceconnection.com. Um, on YouTube, I'm at Coach Bevon 6096. On Facebook, I'm Coach Bevon. Um, you can reach me at b.vonsquires@gmail.com.
Can they get the books there as well?
You can find my book on Amazon, and you can
Okay,
also find my book, The Energy Harvest, a spiritual model for the enhancement of your life. They can find it on my website, or they can find it
right.
on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, Gribbet is on Lulu, and Gribbet is on. Now I'm forgetting my own stuff, but anyway, I know Gribbet is on Lulu. Okay, they prefer you to get it that more than anyway, but it is on mine is on Amazon as well. Okay, and you already know Through the Eyes of a Dialysis Patient is through books at Book Baby, and Melzy Takes Dialysis to Show and Tell is on Amazon as well, and some other spots and places. But I'm not finished with her yet. I just wanted to talk while we was talking books. I just stayed in that vein, but if you had to give a shout out to somebody, who would you give your shout out to? Somebody out there that you want to give a shout out to.
I
Hmm.
would give a shout out to my best girlfriend. Her name is Lisa Terrell.
Hmm.
I've known her ever since we were children. She was my best friend.
Ah,
And she never stopped praying for me, even when I was living in the darkness, even when
ah,
nobody knew where I was. She was still there praying for me, and she's never stopped loving me and welcomed me back after all those years of being out of her life. She welcomed me back with open arms.
that's beautiful. Oh my God, that's beautiful. I tell you, sometimes I've known people on drugs. I've had them in my family. I've known people drinking or alcoholics. They've been friends and family as well. And you don't have the pink lips or anything that your scars is not showing at all. And I have to give it off to God. My hat, my glasses, my everything that I could give off to God, I just give off to God. Before I end the show, I must say to the people out there, besides having this beautiful, wonderful, fantabulous guest, you know what I mean? There's more to come. There's so many people that reached out to me that want to do the show. You know what I mean? And some of them are couples, and some of them are, different people that just recently got on dialysis, and some of them are celebrities. So who knew? Shondo, look at God.
Wow, Shondo.
So I even look at you as a celebrity, so you just stop it. you know, I want you guys to reach out. reach out to some of these programs that can help you. You always hear me say that the programs out there can either pay a bill, pay your rent, give you car fare, or give you a scholarship for college or school, your children or your grandchildren, just because you have a disability. So, take hold of those things and, let it work for you. You know what I mean? Sydney, Center for Independent Disabilities of New York. I went to Albany with them on the 12th of this month, and we were talking to senators and politicians about passing bills and laws and stuff like that to
Yes.
help us better. Also with some of the kidney places too. We go to Washington and talk to politicians more and again. We did it virtual, we done it in person, and we have traveled to do it.
Wow.
You can do the same thing. You can take part in your own journey. You can be your own advocate. Fight
Yes.
for yourself. You got AAKP, American Associations of Kidney Patients. I'm on all of these boards and lines and volunteer with all these people at the age of 61. PKD, Polycystic Kidney Disease Foundation. You got ESRD Network, End Stage Renal Disease Network. Okay, you can if even with the job that I do, if you want training, you want a scholarship, you want employment, you want a grant, you want housing, you want to do some workshops where you get certificates and it's all free, talk to me. All right, there you could be a mentor, you could be a volunteer, or you can do it as an intern. You can get ESL. I'll refer you to any place you want to, or we hook you to people that you need and want and request, and we also hook programs and organizations together as well
Oh
as
my
partners and what have you. So you can look us up, Rise Up East New York.org. That's Rise, RISENY.org. ENY.org. Sorry about that. I didn't bother to write it down, but you can look those things up, and don't worry, when you watch this show, you'll be able to see my email, and you'll be able to see all kind of things. But Elisa.Baxter at dreyfushealth.org, that's my job email. All right, Dreyfus, DREYFUS. And you know how to spell health. How about that? I knew that Dreyfus would give you a run for your money, but I have to at least give you that. But we rise up East New York, and we are there in the community to help not just East New York or Brooklyn, but all the boroughs as well. Okay. So if we can't help you, we'll send you to somebody that can and refer you. All right. So don't be embarrassed or ashamed. We're here for you. We're there for you. Lisa Baxter, giving you the 411 in the kidney world, always giving you what you need 1000%. We love you out there. We care, and I hope you're glad to see your girl back. You know what I mean? I'm back here and there. You know what I mean? Because I'm still working, and I do have to have surgery on my mouth, be put in a hospital instead of a dentist shit. Isn't that something? Because it's just that serious. So pray for me and believe God with me. I believe him. You know what I mean? But you got to be right with him too. So I want to be right. Okay, somebody got to go somewhere. We got to be right. So,
Yes.
but anywho, I love you to the moon and back. You guys rock. You know how I feel about you. And I just thank you so much for this time, this space, and everything else. All right. So, take care of your kidneys, and they will take care of you. Good night. God bless. And see you again soon.
Thank you
Peace.
so much, Lisa.
Have mercy on me, God, according to thy loving kindness, according to the multitude of thy tender mercies. Blot out my transgression. Wash me truly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from sin, for I acknowledge my transgression. I acknowledge them, God, and my sin is ever before me. Purge me with hyssop, and thou shalt be clean. Wash me, and thou shalt be whiter than snow. Wash me, Lord.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.